Y'all, I never thought I'd witness a grown adult terrorizing little kids at a school bus stop. But when my neighbor tried to bully every child on our street, I hit record, and the justice that followed. Oh, she didn't see that coming. Before we dive in, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's expose this chaos together. Because trust me, you don't want to miss how this ends. I live on a quiet street, the kind where you hear sprinklers more than people. The kind where kids ride their bikes, parents wave at each other, and the school bus stop sits right at the corner like it has for the last 20 years. Or at least, that's what it used to feel like. Because everything changed when Karen moved onto the corner house. At first, she just glared at the kids from behind her blinds. Nothing unusual. Everyone knows new neighbors need time to adjust. But then, the real Karen started showing. It began small. A shout through a cracked window. A complaint about noise. A rude comment to the bus driver. But soon it escalated. It was a Monday morning. Cold, foggy, and the kids were huddled together waiting for the school bus. I heard shouting, sharp, angry, aggressive shouting that didn't belong on a peaceful morning. I step outside and see her, Karen, storming down her driveway, robe flying, slippers barely holding on. She yells, "Get off my property. This is MY grass. Take your brats somewhere else." The kids froze. Some looked confused. One little girl started crying. My blood boiled, because the bus stop wasn't on her property. It was on public land. City designated. Legal. Documented. I walked closer and said, "Hey, the bus stop is public. They're not on your property." She spun toward me with eyes so angry I swear she could have melted the sidewalk. "I don't care. I don't want them here. They're ruining my lawn." Her lawn? You mean the patch of grass city workers mow? Right. But I stayed calm. The kids needed that. And the bus pulled up before things got worse. But Karen wasn't finished. Not even close. Over the next week, I started hearing things. Kids telling their parents they didn't want to wait at the corner anymore. Parents saying Karen stared them down. One kid said Karen warned him she'd call the cops if he touched her sidewalk. Her sidewalk. Her street. Her imaginary kingdom. This wasn't just annoying. It was intimidation. And I knew exactly what people like her did when you ignored them. They escalated. The real turning point wasn't even something I saw. It was something I heard. One morning, I woke to a sharp knock on my door. A mother from our street. Eyes red. Voice shaking. She told me that Karen walked up to her 9-year-old daughter and said, "If you step on my lawn again, I'll drag you off myself." A grown woman, threatening a child. That's when I decided I wasn't letting this slide. Not on my street. Not with our kids. Not with anyone feeling scared to wait for a school bus. Justice was coming. But I wanted to do it the right way. And that meant gathering proof. So I set up a camera on my porch. Not hidden, just angled perfectly toward the street. I also walked the neighborhood that evening. Talked to parents. Gathered statements. Heard stories I hadn't even known about. Karen wasn't just yelling. She was stepping outside every morning, pacing her yard, muttering insults loud enough for kids to hear. I documented everything. And still, I didn't confront her. Not yet. Because some people don't learn from words. They learn when their own actions expose them. The next Friday, it happened. The moment I'd been waiting for. The moment she slipped. The kids were waiting. The fog was thick. My camera was on. And Karen stormed out. Faster and angrier than ever. She screamed, "I told you all to move. You don't listen. Fine." Then she did something no one expected. She walked into the street and blocked the bus's path. Hands out. Feet planted. A full-grown adult stopping a school bus filled with kids. The bus driver laid on the horn. Long, loud, unmissable. And the whole street came out. Every parent. Every neighbor. Everyone who had stayed silent. Until now. And there I stood, camera rolling, knowing exactly what would happen next. Because once you endanger a school bus, the law steps in. The bus driver opened the window and shouted, "Ma'am, step out of the road." You're endangering the kids. But Karen didn't budge. She screamed back. They're trespassing. I'm not letting this bus go anywhere until these kids move. Kids on the bus started crying. The ones on the sidewalk backed away. Parents rushed forward. It was chaos. Dangerous chaos. And my camera captured every second. The bus driver radioed dispatch. And within minutes, police sirens echoed down the street. 2 officers stepped out. Firm. Focused. Already frustrated because blocking a school bus is serious. Ma'am, one officer said, you need to step out of the roadway now. Karen pointed at the kids. They're trespassing. This is MY property. I couldn't stop myself. It's public land. City maintained. I have the documents if you need them. The officer nodded at me, then looked back at her. Ma'am, if you don't step out of the street, we will remove you. She puffed up, shouted, I'm not moving until they're gone. Bad choice. The officers guided her away, firmly but safely, while she screamed about her land, brats, noise, and disrespect. The kids watched from the bus windows, wide-eyed but finally safe. I approached the officers and said, I have a recording from this morning, and recordings from the last week. Both officers looked relieved. One said, that'll help a lot. This behavior is unacceptable. I sent the files. Every clip. Every incident. Every time she threatened or yelled. Her fate was sealed. By the end of the investigation, Karen was hit with disorderly conduct, harassment, obstruction of a school bus, interference with public transportation, and the city gave her a written warning about making false claims regarding public property. But the best part? Oh, the best part? A week later, the city sent an official notice to our neighborhood. The school bus stop was being permanently relocated, exactly in front of Karen's house. Not just close, not just nearby, directly on her curb. Every morning, every afternoon, dozens of kids, right where she didn't want them. Justice, delivered with a stamp and signature. Parents smiled more that week. Kids felt safe again. The bus driver honked cheerfully every morning. And Karen? Well, she stayed indoors. Blinds closed. No more screaming. No more my grass. No more bullying. She finally understood. You don't mess with kids. You don't mess with a community. And if you try, the whole street will witness the truth.